Let's look at a ranking. What are the safest cities in Orange County and in California? And no, we're not talking about, what you hear on the news, California safety. We're talking about safety that is better than the national average. So let's get started. So Safewise recently published a list, and I know this is April and we're way past April now, but I actually only recently noticed this because they didn't do it in 2023, so I just kind of forgot about it. But they published a list of the safest cities in California, and I know, you California haters out there, there's plenty of you out there that, they say, oh, well, California's not safe. Well, these cities are well below the national average for safety statistics. And you might notice that Irvine is number 10 here, which you might think, well, that's weird, because Irvine is perennially ranked by the FBI as the safest city in America for a population of 250,000 or greater. So obviously these cities are smaller than Irvine, and because of that, because you have a smaller population, you're just dealing with odds here. So you have a less likely chance of a major crime occurring. So that's why.
But what's amazing is that of the top, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So the top 10 cities. So
in the whole state.
Yeah, and number 10 again is number 1 ranked in the entire country.
Yes.
Of 250,000 or more.
So number 10. Yeah.
And that's obviously Irvine.
Yeah.
But there's 6. The number 1 through 6 on this list are all Orange County cities. And again, this isn't our data. This is a list, of course. So we want to be kind of careful about how we state this, because safety is very subjective, and we'll get into more of that disclaimer later. But
well, why don't you just say it now?
You know what? I'm just going to say it now. Let's just say it. So basically, whatever I say, we talk about safety, super subjective. Obviously, you have the statistics, but that only tells you part of the story, right? Like what I might think is safe or what you might think is safe can be very different things. So when someone even asks about that, I'm always careful going, hey, that's subjective. Because of that, I would recommend people to, one, do their research. Like, so obviously this data is one step in that, and there's more data points that you can look at. But second is that being there physically, obviously checking out the neighborhood that's like kind of became appealing to you at different times of the day and in the evenings is recommended, just so you kind of get a feel, okay, does this feel comfortable for me? Because again, Irvine's ranked on this thing, it's the number 1 city, but some people want a gated community in Irvine, which sounds to me like overkill, but at the same time, I'm not you, so that's where this is a very personal situation. So before we continue, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Sean Nazad.
And I'm Courtney Nazad.
And we're licensed realtors here in the state of California. And if you're watching this channel, you might be thinking, wow, Sean, I love Orange County. I love the perpetual blue skies. I love the perfect weather. I love the Pacific Ocean. I can't wait to move here. Now, the problem is I'm not local. I may be out of state. I may be even out of the country. So I don't know what to do. And I totally get that. That's why you reach out to us, because we can be your boots on the ground. We can have that conversation with you, finding out specifically what you're looking for. We could be really granular about what you're looking for here. And we could be your boots on the ground, really doing just searches of properties, of like virtual tours of the homes, as well as the neighborhoods as well. So when you do come out here, your time is spent super efficiently. So what you want to do is give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country. Yeah, and there's even, further data that you can look into. Most cities, if you look at their police department, they'll give you crime maps. Of course, you have to do a little digging yourself. Usually it's kind of, a little difficult to find, but, you can usually find that as well. So if you're honing in on a particular neighborhood. But you want to just start, let's just start looking at what these cities are, and then we will just give a brief overview of where they are and, just a little data about them. And then let's start with Rancho Santa Margarita. So Rancho Santa Margarita is on the southeastern tip of Orange County, right next to Coto de Caza. In fact, if you live in Coto de Caza, you probably do all your shopping in Rancho Santa Margarita.
True.
So you want to just give a little overview on Rancho Santa Margarita. It is a great little city. It doesn't get talked about that much because it's small, right?
Yeah, and we're going to do a deeper dive into Rancho Santa Margarita because it is a fantastic city. It's kind of one of those unicorn cities that we kind of find sprinkled throughout Orange County. So obviously, number 1 on the list, that's pretty impressive. Actually, I believe that one of our commenters noted that. And I was like, thank you very much for bringing that to our attention. Obviously, that's quite the crown, right? Crowning achievement is to be ranked that highly, of course, and again, being going to Rancho Santa Margarita all the time. I mean, it's a great city. I mean, it's the detriment, I would say, the biggest detriment to it is there's 2 of them. One is that it's kind of farther out of the way.
Yeah.
So it is, geographically speaking, kind of far out there. So that's
so if you're from Irvine, it's all the way to there.
Yeah.
Right?
So you're there's a couple different ways. Fortunately, there's some pretty major arteries that will get you to Rancho Santa Margarita, even if you don't want to take the toll roads. But obviously, you do have the toll roads at your disposal as well.
So this is a toll road.
Yes, you can take that.
Or
You
the
also
5 and then the streets up there.
exactly. So there's ways to get there. It's just that obviously it's not as conveniently located as Irvine, like
Yeah.
for instance.
Yeah.
They actually have a good amount of shopping, dining options. Like I would say another ding on it is that if you look at a lot of Santa Margarita, it actually does abut the Cleveland National Forest.
Yeah.
So you do have heightened fire danger there, right? So that is. Sometimes we have people that, people reaching out that are a bit concerned by that. Personally, I wouldn't be particularly freaked out unless I would be a little concerned if I was literally my backyard was
canyon.
Was a like the canyon. If there's no one between you and it, that's where even I would be like, I'd rather not have that backyard just being completely unimproved land. Some other people, they actually like that expanse, almost like a savanna kind of thing, like looking out to, like there's just like as far as the eye can see. For me personally, I don't like to be that close to the wild. So, but again, everyone's different. So, but like realistically speaking, if you're a couple rows in from that, I don't want to like poo-poo it. It is a legitimate concern, and you will have higher than average rates as far as fire insurance is concerned because there is higher likelihood. And if you want to get a copy of the map, as far as the elevated fire danger map, feel free to reach out to us. We can send that to you as well.
Okay, next on the list, and let's try to...
Another unicorn city. Amazing.
Aliso Viejo. Yeah, we love Aliso Viejo. I guess I didn't actually realize this, but some people call Aliso Viejo Little Irvine.
Really?
Yes.
I actually don't feel that. I actually
don't know.
Feels more
It feels like Irvine.
No, it feels more like Little Laguna Niguel than Little Irvine to me. Like I actually don't...
I don't know.
I don't personally see that. I'll reserve that for another one later down the list.
Okay, so Aliso Viejo, we love it because it has, I guess if you want to call it Little Irvine, it has a lot of the things that Irvine is known for. Obviously we're talking about the safety statistics here, so Irvine's famous for that. Aliso Viejo is right on there. It's part of the Capistrano Unified School District, so very highly ranked school district. Another reason that people like Irvine. It isn't as centrally located as Irvine, of course, and then...
But I would argue that it's potentially better location because you are like coastal side of the 5 freeway here, so you do get the sea breeze. So a lot of times when you're getting that sea breeze kind of going on, so like the best weather in, like obviously as you kind of go out, the best weather truly is like when you go coastal side of the 5 freeway, and then obviously, of course, if you're on the coast, perfect weather.
The coastal side, sorry, I just gotta draw it, right? The coastal side of the 5 freeway, so like this, basically. Yeah,
so Aliso Viejo is smack dab in the middle of that, so you get the sea breeze. All of Orange County's got amazing weather, but just like, degrees of perfection, right? And this is getting much closer to that perfect. Obviously, if you're within a mile of the coast, you're perfect, and that's comes usually at a premium. But Aliso Viejo is actually reasonably priced, as well as being actually really well situated. And yes, it is not as quite as centrally located as Irvine, but it's right next door to it. So it's not like you're way out of the way. But again, I find Aliso Viejo has been always on our unicorn list as like one of these amazing cities. And obviously, being number 2 on this list of safety is just adding to that lore.
Yeah, and I'd say one knock against it is the 73 right here that goes through it. That's a toll road, which we hate. But like Sean was saying, it's right next to the Irvine Spectrum, which is right here. And that's a huge, business center, as well as shopping.
Yeah, and you don't have to take the 73 freeway.
No, you don't.
It's like
you
great...
can take the 5.
Yeah, it's a great, in case of emergency, break glass kind of thing. Like, I've used the 73 freeway. Being native Southern Californian, depending on where you're watching this, maybe toll roads are very much a normal thing. For Southern California, we've never really had that many toll roads, so we avoid it like the plague. But I will use it, especially if I'm actually running behind or whatever. It's great to be able to have that option to save some time on like on that commute if you're going into North Orange County.
Okay, next is Yorba Linda.
Did they just make a list of every city that these are like amazing. Like, okay, so now if you don't want... So the previous 2 cities we talked about.
So let's just show first. So this is South County.
Yeah.
So now we're going north into North County, and then there we have Yorba Linda. Yorby, as Sean affectionately likes to call Yorba Linda.
I love me some Yorba Linda. So Yorba Linda is awesome in a lot of different ways. So one is that, let's say you do work in LA. Or the Inland Empire. Being in South Orange County is kind of a challenge just because that's again, it's kind of further out of the way.
South Orange County. It's far.
Even further out.
It's like Irvine. Yeah, this is far.
This is beautiful.
I know.
Craftsmanship right
But
here.
Sean never does any drawing, so
So Courtney's taking the reins.
He tries to do the storytelling with the hands. I'm like, you
Can
gotta
you see
show
my hands?
You gotta show people.
Okay, I'm a gesturing kind of person. So South Orange County, one, it's a little bit further out of the way if you want to be in, if you work in LA or North Orange County or in the Inland Empire.
Orange County kind of ends like right here.
So if you're working in LA, South Orange County is kind of challenging. And also, secondly, what a lot of people don't like about South Orange County is the fact that it's tons of HOAs. So if you're not interested in lots of HOAs and stuff that's built circa 1980s, 1990s, where you have that different shade of beige possibility or heightened possibility, Yorba Linda kind of offers a little bit of, one, you have more land, it's equestrian type properties, not all of it, but you have that option. It's because it's the north, like the northernmost, pretty north as far as Orange County is concerned. To get to Inland Empire is super, super convenient because you're right off the 91 freeway, and also to get to LA.
This is the Inland Empire in here.
Yeah, so it is super convenient. Get to LA, also very convenient because you have multiple different ways to get there. Yeah. So I love Yorba Linda. So, it's, again, a fantastic option. It is on the higher price point, though, than the previous two cities. Mm-hmm. So it is higher up in price, but it's always been considered just one of those more upscale communities, I guess.
Yeah, I would say the one thing that anyone who lives in Yorba Linda, probably the biggest complaint they have, in addition to the traffic, because you're at the 91, right, which is horrific, but it is also fairly far east, so it's going to be a good 10 degrees hotter here than it is here, if not 15 in the summer. So, and
you do have hills here, so you do have more view possibilities. But yes, you're a little bit further away, so you're looking at 30 minutes plus to get to the beach, if that's what you're looking to do. Again, it's not that far. Good news is that even though it's like the northernmost tip of Orange County, for instance, it's still not that far off the coast because Orange County just itself is not that, it doesn't go that far inland.
Yeah. Next is Laguna Niguel.
Love me some,
I love Laguna Niguel so much. So Laguna Niguel is right next to Aliso Viejo, very close to Rancho Santa Margarita. And what's nice about Laguna Niguel, too, is that if you are in this part of Laguna Niguel, then you can really get sort of the beach lifestyle. You can really feel the ocean air here. And you can get, ocean views here. Laguna Niguel, one of my favorite cities. I absolutely love it. Like Yorba Linda, it's much more hilly than Irvine. Irvine is pretty flat in the vast majority of it. So you do get more of a sense of space here. So I just really like Laguna Niguel for that reason.
It's a beautiful city. I mean, again, it's not as conveniently located as Irvine, of course, but you are on the coastal side of the 5 freeway. And what's nice is that on the very tip of Laguna Niguel, it's one of our hacks as far as getting that beach city living, but not paying beach city prices per se. Not that Laguna Niguel's cheap. It's actually fairly comparable with Yorba Linda, but you have to understand beach cities are very expensive. So
here is like ding, 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 ding. Talk about expensive.
Yeah, the dollar bills start ringing up. So Laguna Niguel's not cheap, right? But at the same time, it's more for getting a like for like as far as like on some of this coastal tip. Yeah. You're like a mile away from the beach. And again, a lot of coastal cities are actually going more inland than this. Yeah. So it's really, that's one of our little hacks. Again, there are parts of Laguna Niguel that are very, very expensive, but to get that beach city living, this is a very good option.
Yeah. So then next, after Laguna Niguel, Mission Viejo. So let's click on that. That is right next to Laguna Niguel. So that's a nice South County city. We've done lots of tours of all these cities. I think the only one we haven't done a tour of is Rancho Santa Margarita because it's just so small. But we do have a tour of Mission Viejo as well. So I will link at the end of this video, I'll link all of our tours that we have in a playlist. So.
Yeah, Mission Viejo is awesome. I mean, youth sports is off the hook here. You obviously have like Mission Viejo Lake, which is a man-made lake. Pretty cool though. Here. You actually have some homes that are actually on the lake there where they may have a dock. You're not speedboating through there. It's not a big lake by any stretch, but it's cool. Like people actually can go fishing there. You have some beaches there. Mission Viejo is awesome. I really like Mission Viejo a lot. It's a very active community.
And the price point is good too.
Price point's price point's reasonable. Not as good as Rancho Santa Margarita, but fairly close.
Yeah.
Again, as you notice, like it's right next door to Rancho Santa Margarita.
Yeah.
And the next one on this list is right next to it on the western side. So Mission Viejo is awesome.
It is. And then next we have Lake Forest. So Lake Forest, perhaps unsurprisingly, right next to Mission Viejo.
Yes, I'm noticing a trend here.
So, although have we done a tour of Lake Forest? I don't think we have.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think we have. Yeah, so Lake Forest is right next to Irvine. So this is Irvine right here, the Great Park area of Irvine. So
the Irvine Spectrum area of Irvine too.
Yeah, so a lot of what you get in Irvine, you find in Lake Forest. Although I'm sure somebody from Lake Forest is going to watch this and
say it's totally different.
Send me hate mail.
I've never seen anything so polar opposite from one another. So yeah, when you're actually bringing Aliso Viejo very Irvine-like, I was going later on down the list,
Here's
which is Lake Forest. I actually look at Lake Forest as has more similarities.
Yeah. Especially like right along here, because you have a lot of businesses along here, and Irvine is the commercial center. It's the business center of Orange County. Lake Forest has, Lake Forest has a ton of businesses here, which is really nice. And then, Lake Forest is just nice. And yes, they do have a lake, but it's very small.
Yeah,
it's right here. And
yeah, I mean, there's really nothing else. I mean, I actually really like Lake Forest a lot. Yeah. I would have no qualms living in Lake Forest. I mean, I don't know why people get upset that we kind of say, compared to Irvine, because you're going, okay, you're next door to it. You offer a lot of similarities. Not that, are you a carbon copy of it? No. But you have so many similarities that and again, I'm saying this in a good way. I'm not actually hating on it at all. I mean, I think Lake Forest is a fantastic city.
Well, and Lake Forest, one nice thing when compared to Irvine is the price, right?
Price is much more reasonable.
Median price is so much more reasonable than Irvine.
Yeah, although, I mean, you definitely have places of very high demand, like we're talking about like Portola Hills and Baker Ranch and stuff. So Portola Hills is up here, so in this kind of area. Baker Ranch is like right around here. Like what's nice about these areas that you have actually two new construction. So you have like Portola Hills and then Baker Ranch. And what people like about Baker Ranch is that, in Portola Hills for that matter, you have newer to brand new construction of nice homes too. Like, these are homes in that $3 million-ish price range. So you have some options from that perspective. Beautiful areas. I mean, there's tons of demand. People really like Lake Forest a lot. And then you have various. You have stuff that's built in 1970s and on up, basically, in Lake Forest. It didn't actually used to be called Lake Forest. It used to be called El Toro, and then they changed it years ago. But again, I love Lake Forest. I think that it's, again, pretty centrally located, actually, where this is one of my go-tos as far as an alternative when people understand a lot of people reach out to us for Irvine. And I always inevitably say, okay, well, I get that you like Irvine, but what else? Let me give you some other options, just to have other options, because you might find that these are better fits for not just budget, but also you may actually just like them more. And again, just giving you more properties to choose from, because we're still dealing with a very low inventory environment, not tons of homes for sale. So I like to give you as many options as possible. And Lake Forest is certainly one of those alternatives to Irvine that gives you a lot of what Irvine has to offer, but again, a twist, right? There are some differences that you may like more.
Okay, and then number 10 on the list is Irvine. We're not going to belabor Irvine because we have so much on this channel about Irvine. In fact, I will link at the end our playlist on Irvine. We've got tours of Irvine, tours of different neighborhoods of Irvine. We've got driving tours of Irvine, different neighborhoods. We've got so much stuff about Irvine. So if you are interested in every little nitty-gritty thing that
we will link to it.
We will link to it. You can do a lot of research.
We've got a lot of Irvine
on this channel.
And again, but I guess we should do a quick little synopsis. Irvine, amazing. The number one job hub in Orange County. It's got a top tier ranked university, the University of California, Irvine. So it's right there.
Yeah.
Obviously, it ranks very highly on crime and safety. It's been number one for 18 years in a row for, according to FBI data, for cities of 250,000 or more.
Yeah, so sorry to interrupt you for that, but we should preface that again. The reason why Irvine is number 10 is because these are much smaller.
Yes.
So Irvine is number one for a population of 250,000 or greater, which is quite hard to do because, the more people you get, just the more probability you're going to have somebody fighting with somebody else.
Well, especially when you have, you have, because also it's a number one job in Orange County, you have a lot of people going into Irvine.
Yeah, you do.
So it's just, there's so much commerce and just so much stuff going on here that it's pretty impressive that they've maintained this ranking. Again, not that these rankings are the be-all, end-all. Please don't misunderstand that. This is just a resource, one of many that you can reference, of course, to kind of make your determination on if that's important to you, how important to you is it. Obviously there's all the other resources as well.
And then just a quick little aside is when you go down to the top 20, actually San Clemente is number 13, so right here. So we'll just show you where San Clemente is, and we also do have a tour of San Clemente. So here we go, San Clemente. It's the furthest south beach city. We've done a tour of it, so I don't want to go on and on and on.
But that's impressive because beach cities inherently, just because there's more tourism.
Yeah, and people with alcohol that
Yeah,
don't
just
care.
People that again just tourists, right? I mean, like just tourists doing tourist things.
They're letting off steam.
Yeah, so and those surfers. Just kidding. But like, I mean, I'm just saying, like San Clemente is being a on this list
spot.
This high up.
Yeah.
Is pretty impressive because again, beach cities inherent to tourism and people coming to visit, you have a higher likelihood of just again just vandalism and that kind of stuff, and the fact that they're number 13.
It's more drunken.
Yeah.
People just making stupid decisions.
Yes. And remember, we are licensed realtors here in the state of California. So as much as we love making these videos, what we love more is to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, what you want to do is you want to give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country.